Welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. I'm Madelyn, and it's so nice to have you here. So today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading, and so there are 3 different piles, and the question is, where is this relationship headed? So as you ask yourself the question and meditate on which one of the piles you want to pick, you can ask, where is this relationship headed? Now, you might think of different relationships and be drawn to different piles. So sometimes that's what happens for me. I'm like, oh, I think the green is so-and-so and the blue is the blue is so-and-so or the white is so-and-so. So I might end up watching them for different people or for different reasons. But the question is, where is this relationship headed? And this is A is the white highlight, and B is the blue sodalite, and C is the green adventurite. So that's great ones here that we have. And, I want to make sure it's adventurine. Okay. Green adventurine. Okay. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure I get that correct for all of you that are extreme experts on stones. As I should always be, right? So we spend a lot of time with our stones, and very soon we're going to have the full moon tonight, in fact, for us for this reading, and make sure that we take our gems and stones outside, put them under the moon with intention, so that they will have meaning. So that'll hopefully give you a little time. We'll give you a little time here, and then also, pause the video, take a little time to think about, A, B, and C, and which one is the one that answers your question, where is this relationship headed? So let's go ahead and start with the first pile of A. So let's begin with pile number 1, and it has the white howlite. It's really a beautiful stone. And if you picked pile number 1, imagine in your mind the relationship. Where is this relationship headed? So imagine in your mind the relationship that you picked for this reading. And you might even find that you'll pick different piles for different relationships that you have. That's sometimes what I do. So let's take a look at the first card. This is from the Mystical Shaman deck, and it is the hummingbird. So the hummingbird is the 26, which is the 8. So infinity and abundance and my life path. Oh, it's one of the difficult ones, I think. Anyway, here is the hummingbird flying into your life, hovering around, spending time. And I noticed here that there's the full moon, which is the time frame that we're in right now. And as the full moon is shining down on the hummingbird, it's kind of unusual because I don't think the hummingbird is usually out during the moon. It's more of a creature that's in the daytime. But one of the things I'm thinking about is how the hummingbird migrates across great distances, and it's such a small bird, and it needs so much sustenance, and yet it migrates such a long distance. So this relationship is potentially headed to go the distance, and to have a lot of distance to it in a long type of relationship. And so this long relationship will probably, if it hasn't started yet, it would start around the full moon. If it has, I feel like there'll be an increase of energies or strength within the relationship during one of the full moons coming up. There's also a flower down here that looks more like a mountain upside down. So see how that kind of looks like a couple, a mountain there. And so it could be that you guys, go to a mountain, you enjoy spending time around a mountain, you live around a mountain, you can see a mountain like this, like Mount Hood. It looks a lot like Mount Hood. And or it could be that you'll be traveling a lot together into some of these kind of places. So I feel like this relationship is one where you're going to come together in a long-term relationship that has a lot of potential travel involved to some of the more exotic places. And the hummingbird certainly traverses a lot of these places. So it could even be that you'll have to move to be together, in order to be together, if that's the kind of relationship that we're talking about. So I think that that's mostly what I'm getting from this card. Also maybe the air energy, that at least one or two of you are, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, in your sun or moon, maybe in the moon, at least the air energies. Okay, so I pulled a few of the Shadowscape cards, and to go along with this hummingbird. Of course, at the time I didn't know what it was, for pile number A. And so the first card is the sun. So that's interesting. We have a moon in the one card and the sun in another card. Death and the Three of Pentacles. So these are three of my favorite cards in this deck. So that's kind of cool. So looking at some other things of where this relationship is headed, you could, if you just take these cards at face value, you'd say happiness, transformation, and communication and connectedness. So that would be the three words that would come out of the meanings of the cards. So if we look closely at these cards, they have a lot of beauty and depth to each one. And so as we look at the sun, let me look at the card a bit, and sometimes things will pop out, and we can take a look. There's something that looks kind of like a dragon coming out from behind. So it could be that there will be some mystery or wonder, or also it could be kind of a hoarding. Dragons tend to get a lot of wealth and they hoard it. So in the movement of this relationship, it'll grow through things having to do with mystery and beauty. And then also I'm thinking about the dragon in China, and how the dragon, in China is carried by all the people and moved through the town. And it's very, very special to be born in the year of the dragon, to be, part of the community of dragons. And it's, again, a relationship that has a lot of movement and momentum in a forward direction. So this relationship is moving forward, and then also into a happy place, in the place of the sun. Okay. Second, we're looking at the Death card. Now, in this deck, the Death card is the Phoenix. And below is the Phoenix egg. As the Phoenix bursts into flame and it dies, at the same time it's bursting into flame, new life is formed. And so it's all about transformation and rebirth, reconnection, from the old to the new. So this relationship will be moving through some time that has a little bit of rockiness to it, but that will only bring it to a more strengthened level if you choose it to. So many times, you know, how we communicate, how we relate to each other, and what we do will affect our relationship. And this relationship is headed toward a little bit of a rocky time, but all that will do is bring you to a new level of understanding in the relationship. And then the third card, the Three of Pentacles. So it has those 3 circles up there. And I was noticing she has purple hair. That's kind of interesting. So these, she's sitting there very whimsical, and it's kind of like these bubbles are coming out of her hand and out of her head and her hand and her upper body, and they're rising upwards. So I think that this relationship has a real potential to rise you and to bring you up to a new level. So let's take a look at, it also has both a man holding the woman. I don't know if you can see it there. The man is holding the woman. So there's a lot of support in this relationship, a lot of gentle, loving support that's going on. So whether you are the divine masculine or the divine feminine may not be related to which genders you are in the relationship, but rather that the divine masculine, in the sense, is holding up and supporting the feminine and allowing her to really be creative and to bring into being these beautiful entities that are moving upward. So it's a really beautiful connection that you have that is full of, you know, happiness and movement, direction for the long term. And we're looking at a rebirth, or something that happens that kind of brings a change to both of you, so that one of you can really help support the other. It can be, it can be financially, it can be emotionally. So you're supporting each other in your endeavors and in your art and your growth. So this is a beautiful connection here. And what I would like to do is end this part with a card. Sorry, I'm having to reach. A card from the Wellness deck. So where is this relationship headed? So let's continue to ask that question. Okay, so there's a bird singing. So we have another bird here. Like we had the hummingbird, we have a bird that's singing. It's kind of interesting because not very many songbirds are white. And so maybe the music that comes from this relationship will be unexpected or in a different way than you maybe expected. There is an abundance of everything. Shortage is only a perception. You keep thinking there is a shortage of abundance, but shortage is only a perception. There is never-ending stream of abundance. There is no shortage whatsoever. So in this relationship, you will learn that abundance is everywhere. And that's probably a lot of this rebirth that will happen, is the two of you coming together and realizing that no matter where you are in life, that you can work together, manifest together the wonderful abundance that you are looking for in your relationship. So I hope that this is of help to you. We will continue into the extended of this reading as for the advice, the blocks, the hopes and fears, true feelings, true intentions. And in this case, we have the zodiac signs of the Leo and the Scorpio. So we'll look at Leo and Scorpio, maybe just the earth sign in general because of the Three of Pentacles. And then we'll look at some of the advice and blocks for you. Okay, so come on over to the extended. The link is below, and it still will be the section A. Okay, take care. Talk to you soon. Welcome, Pile B, Group Pick a Card B. Thank you to your coming to your reading. So you picked the blue sodalite stone. It's a beautiful, if you can see it, beautiful stone. And we will start reading with a oracle card from the Mystic Shaman Oracle deck. And many times when you, like, the question that we're asking is, where is this relationship headed? And there may be more than one relationship that you're drawn to a different set of cards. So certainly follow your heart with those kind of things. Spend time in meditation, deciding which pile is right for you. And the question is, where is this relationship headed? So the card here is the 64, which added together is 10, which is kind of coming to the end of a cycle. And it's the Witness. So the Witness is one of my favorite cards. She is standing here. This light is gleaming. She's holding this light. And she has the antlers and the sun behind her. And so much of the Witness card and the energy of the Witness is all about just being the one that is there to observe, the watcher. And it's actually interesting because several times when I was asking the universe, what is my path? What is my direction I should take? It said, I kept getting this card, the Witness. You are the Witness, the watcher. And the Witness will stand and watch. And it's somebody who can be there when someone else is having a really hard time. And so this relationship is headed to a place of patience, watching, and waiting. And in that energy of, there's also, I kind of see like an eye here, almost like an evil eye type of thing, where there's also a level of protection in this relationship. So this relationship is going to bring protection into your life. And that is also exemplified by the horns of the stag. And many times the stag is one of the spirit animals, which are very direct in helping people in their shaman journeys, in protecting them and helping them to witness. So when you are going through a journey, you're witnessing your life. When you're going through a cleansing, whatever type of ceremonies you may be going through, you are the witness, as well as you may be having the action done to you, but you're still the witness. Or I was even thinking, when you do tarot, you are the witness of what is being communicated to you through the source of all that is, the angels, spirits, and guides. So as we bring that energy into a relationship and where it is headed, I see it being headed in a very solid, strong, quiet type of way. So I think for this reading to resonate, both of you are probably somewhat introverts. That you both see life from a very still and quiet place. And know that you don't have a lot of excitement, but you can still have a great relationship. Now, in this relationship, as you're moving forward, it may be that one of you ends up being the witness for the other one. So you might, it might be something where, you know, one of you ends up with a, you know, a chronic illness, or some other way that one person is being a witness for the other, and that when the one is going through a very hard time, the other person is there for them as that comforting influence. So I believe that your relationship is headed toward a very stable place, but a very kind of quiet and calm sense. That's the overall energy. So let's see what the what cards came up with this energy, and what direction we may be headed. And in that, these are the Shadowscape cards. They're some of my favorite. A lot of beauty in the cards. So the three cards that came up are the Hierophant, the Tower, and the Ten of Pentacles. You know, it's fascinating. The last group, Group A, we had 2 major arcana and a minor arcana. And I didn't plan that. I simply just shuffled in the cards that came out. So I didn't want that whole timing to be on here, so I went ahead and placed them in piles. But here we are again with these, you know, two major arcana and 1 minor arcana card. So that's very interesting. So so this kind of has that, I mean, so the Hierophant definitely has that kind of a quiet, calm, peaceful energy, very by the book, by the rules. And then the Tower kind of has that rebirth feel. That's interesting because the last one had the devil, I mean the death, which was, you know, the rebirth, you know, death to new life. And this is the Tower, the death to new life. Oh my. Okay. So this one is the Hierophant instead of the Sun. So that makes sense because, like I said, I think that you're a couple that's more, you know, on the quiet route. Or if you picked a relationship that's like, you know, you and your dad or something, you're both kind of quiet, you're helping each other, you're watching out for each other in that kind of watcher sense. Okay, so I don't like to do things only love readings because I just, you know, there's so few people in my life that are actually my lovers and the rest are my friends. And so there's so much we can learn from all the relationships that we have. So the Hierophant, here's the card for the Hierophant. You can see it definitely has a tree, it has a light. It's kind of like the person is a part of the whole picture. So let me take a look. Yeah, the tree actually is the Hierophant. He's coming out of it. See his face there in the tree. There's so much yellow energy, which is a solar plexus. The solar plexus, just above the navel, is the energy, the yellow energy that comes out and surrounds us. There's so much yellow energy. And there's a little red bird. The little red bird reminds me of when I was in Ireland for a year. They had this robin that was, you know, one of the European robins. So it has the red and also the blue. It has a beautiful song. And sometimes I would escape from where I was and go out. You could just walk through the fields as long as you close the gate. So, you know, never leave a gate open. You don't know what animals might be there. So, but you could just walk and walk and walk, and someone had showed me this little spot where there was a little pond and a tree and a couple of rocks around it, and you could sit there under the rocks and the tree and listen. There was always like a little robin there singing. It was so beautiful, and so such a special moment. You know, it's funny because there was, you know, back in the when I was 19, I did not have a cell phone, so I didn't take pictures like I do now with everything, but there's a beautiful picture in my mind. And I'm sitting here seeing the same kind of a feeling in this. So I really feel that your relationship has the potential to move into a very quiet, calm, peaceful, restful component to your life, which could be what you want or not what you want. You know, sometimes we really long for, you know, a lot of romance and passion and direction and all of that kind of stuff. You know, but if both people are kind of, you know, calm, collected, quiet people, I can see this really working well for you. And, you know, the Hierophant also is bringing in that sense of, you know, following the law, following the rules. And so probably if both of you have that attitude, it will work fairly well. And then, you know, with kind of going back to the solar plexus, it has a lot to do with self-esteem. And so I think that this relationship will help you move into a better sense of self-esteem for yourself and for that other person. So I think that that's for the first card. You know, the second card, the Tower, you can see how the lightning has struck the tree. Now, when the lightning strikes a tree that's that massive and big, you know, burns out the top a little bit, but it certainly doesn't kill the tree. The tree is still there. So, you know, there will be times in the relationship where things are kind of battered or beaten, or, you know, a lightning strikes it. But, you know, when that lightning strikes, it won't destroy it. And remember, this relationship, you know, is not going to be destroyed by some little lightning strike or even some big lightning strike. It will continue on. It will continue on and shine its light. I just noticed that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it may be in like the 6th year, if this is a long relationship, that in the 6th year there will be some kind of tragedy. Or if it's a short one, you know, 6 weeks or 6 months. So that something like that may happen. You know, it's kind of interesting that I'm talking about living in Ireland, because when I was in Ireland and I was sleeping in my little cottage that I was in, I woke up and I just knew I had felt something. And in the morning, the church right next to me, its steeple was gone. It had been taken away by lightning. So it didn't destroy the whole church, just some of the church, and it took them a while to build it back up again. And of course, the whole town, you know, all around me had stories of these, you know, lightning bolts running across the floor and all kinds of great things that happened, you know, during the night, during the lightning storm. But, I mean, I think that the interesting thing is that, you know, I'm thinking of so there may be an Irish connection here. One of you may be Irish, you may have lived in Ireland, you might be going to Ireland, or at some point this relationship will take you on a trip there. It's just kind of coming to that. So I have, for just recently, I woke up and then there was some lightning, and I heard the lightning because the lightning was so close that the thunder and lightning were instantaneous. And it was quite an experience to experience. And I was like, okay, so I've been that close to lightning twice. So the third time is when, you know. So we'll see how that goes. 100 years from now, let's say. Okay. So the last one is the Ten of Pentacles. So you can take a look at that card. So we have the dragon, green dragon. The girl is sitting in the dragon, holding a orange orb, kind of in the area of her sacral chakra. So there may be a really good sexual, sensual part to this relationship, if it's a love relationship. A lot of passion, if it's not, if it's a friendship, a lot of passion, drive. So even though it's quiet, it can still have that quiet passion that you're going for. So passion doesn't have to be loud and boisterous. It can be quiet and withdrawn as well. And there's definitely a feel here of a stained glass window. So the stained glass window could, point you toward religions, churches. So this relationship could be leading you to maybe a spiritual connection, a religious connection. Maybe one of you will need to change your religion to be part of the relationship. And then she has the beautiful Irish red hair. So there, beautiful Irish red hair. So the dragon, you're bringing a lot of mystery, direction, wealth. You definitely have some wealth coming into the relationship. Okay, so let's end with a wellness card from the wellness deck from Abraham Hicks. And so the question is, where is this relationship headed? So please subscribe to the channel, like and share. And also there will be an extended where we'll take a look at the Hierophant, the Tower, a little more deeply. True feelings, true intentions of the two of you. Advice and blocks, hopes and fears, things like that. To continue on in the reading. So come on over to the extended. It's in the underneath there. There's the little link, and let's take a look at the final message here. Okay, so there's sunflowers here, and so that has an element of happiness, and then also nourishment. So there's kind of a happiness that's still very practical. My purpose in life is joy. Okay, the basis of your life is freedom. The purpose of your life is joy. You are free to choose new avenues for joy. And in your joyous growth, you will add to the experience of all that is. So bringing joy into this, be a watcher of each other, witness of each other's joy in this relationship. Okay, so come on over to the extended it'll be the Group B extended. Welcome, Group C, to your portion of the reading. And so if you picked for the relationship that you're thinking about, where is this relationship headed is the question. And we have the green aventurine. And so it's a great stone here, and really resonating with you. So let's take a look at these cards. So the first card is an oracle card from the Mystic Shaman Oracle deck. And so as we take a look at this card is the arrow. And so the question that we're asking is, where is this relationship headed? And the first thing I'm thinking of is like an arrow coming from from a Cupid. So it may be that it's a friendship that's turning into more than that. And it definitely is kind of like this arrow is going through the sun, or going through a heart, or piercing through something. And as the arrow pierces through, it kind of is stalled. There's also a lot of feathers coming off of the arrow. And then there's a lot of orange elements going up. So I feel like there's a lot of the sacral chakra, relationships, energy, sexual tension, and those kind of things. It's just a little blue, so it's maybe not as much communication as there needs to be in this relationship. It's a number 3, which is actually quite amazing. It's right at the beginning of the deck. Number 3 has to do with connection. And so there definitely is a really strong connection headed, growing in this relationship. So if the relationship is still a friendship, it's definitely growing into something more than that. If you picked something more like, a father-daughter, mother-daughter, one of those kind of relationships for this reading, I would say that even that relationship is growing and developing and really moving forward. And there is something kind of stopping this in the middle from continuing on. And it's like a yellow circle is stopping it. And so it's kind of like it's right in the area of the solar plexus. So I think that this particular relationship is being halted by a lack of identity or self reflection, self-understanding, love of self, self-image, those kind of things. So something to do with that, either with one party or both, is keeping it from going to the full level that it could be. But it's definitely headed in a really powerful new direction overall. So kind of see the arrows going like this, but in this case the arrow is going up. And so it's kind of like it's connecting heaven and earth. And so I think there's also a part of this relationship that's headed to a more spiritual realm and a greater understanding of how heaven and earth is connected in this 3, the connection, because the 3 really represents, you, someone else, and the source of all it is, the higher energy, all of those higher elements. I was just thinking the little orange specks going up could also be kind of like elementals, and it's kind of in the shape of a wave. If you can see, it's kind of like a wave coming up. And they could be like these little elementals. And that one bright one there is like this fairy that I've read about, who basically is the throat chakra fairy, the blue fairy. And he has the blue light in the throat, and he really is all about communication. So I think that this relationship is moving toward more communication, and the things of nature are what kind of really help it move forward toward that goal. So let's take a look at the tarot that was pulled for this. It's from the Shadowscape deck. Okay, so we have 3 cards. The Knight of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Ace of Cups. So I was ready for 2 major arcana and a minor arcana, because that's what the last 2 groups were. But this group C, we still have 1 major arcana, the Chariot. So let's start with the first card, the Knight of Pentacles. So you're going to take a look at this. I love how this this dragon, who's actually a stone dragon, or else is coming out of the ground. Maybe it's coming out of the ground. Oh yeah. it's like the dragon is coming out of the ground, and it brought with it this big, huge chunk of gold. It's kind of like that Mayan gold, you know, like the big Mayan sun. It's reminding me of that big Mayan sun that's bringing up out of the ground, out of the unconscious into the conscious world. And so as this isn't that what dragons do? They have a whole layer under the ground with a whole bunch of gold, and they protect it at all costs. And for him, he has it tied to himself. I mean, he cannot let it go. He or she has that gold, and they're holding onto it with all of their worth. And at the same time, the Knight of Pentacles is riding this dragon. He's a dragon rider. He's part of this dragon and part of this entity. And all around him are these dandelion fluff. And he's a dandy person, very good looking, well dressed, but also the dandelion fluff in some of the other cards has to do with communication. So he's, as I was talking before, he's kind of trying to develop his communication. In this relationship, he's really riding into wealth and prosperity on the back of a dragon. So you can see that. So he's riding into wealth and prosperity on this dragon. So there's a lot of potential for you guys. You know, I was thinking, you know, the growth of this arrow, you know, growing up, you know, part of that probably is this this wealth that's coming in. And it could be that this golden disc, this keeping the arrow for forming, is the same golden disc on here, this disc of wealth that this dragon is kind of keeping from that completely. So again, it's your self-confidence, it's your self-worth that's keeping from that full potential of the abundance that's in the universe that's being offered to you. So the chariot is, you know, it's always interesting to me. I'm like, how is the chariot a Cancer? But in this one, there's this beautiful crab right at the bottom. So it's very obvious that it's the Cancer energy. But anyway, so it's the water energy. You can see that not only is he riding a beautiful chariot, but he's being pulled by unicorns. And he's coming from this wonderful palace up there. And so coming from the palace in the sky, coming down, riding into the earth on the wings of the water and the unicorns and all of this mystery and wonder. And so again, I think it's just this relationship is headed toward a lot of movement and direction and promise in those ways. And then the Ace of Cups. So here's the Ace of Cups. So in the Ace of Cups, we have a beautiful chalice that's here with these blue stones, which, you know, can be bringing out blue souls, blue connections, conversation, communication. And there's all these flying fish, you know, the fish flying through the sky, and this kind of a fairy-like creature. And so again, I'm kind of being drawn to this fairy, which is all about communication. And he loves to say things in kind of an unusual way, or a way that'll make you laugh, or those kind of things. So I think that this connection, this relationship will grow a lot in its communication, its ability. And also with the orange fish, you know, definitely bringing more growth in like sexuality and those kind of things in the relationship. And then of course, if it's not that kind of a relationship, then you're looking for things like creativity and passion and those kind of directions. So in the extended, I'll take a look at Cancer, the zodiac sign, and then also your true feelings, intentions, advice, blocks, hopes and fears, those kind of things in the extended. So please like in this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can receive other great videos that we're putting out onto Spiritual Rebirth Tarot all the time. And thank you so much, Group C, for taking a look at this. And I like to end this section with a wellness card. So where is this relationship headed? So this is the Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks is a great thing to listen to, and it really will help you. Well, my throat chakra is saying, I need some water. Okay, so she is sleeping on the flowers. Okay, so the measure of my success is my joy. The amount of joy you have allowed yourself to experience is the greatest indicator of your allowance of energy and success. Whenever you are feeling good, you are an enormous contributor. So I really feel that the more you help each other in this relationship find your self-esteem and you grow that and develop that, the more this relationship will thrive and really bring that abundance into your lives. Okay, I'll see you over at the extended. There's a link below.